Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for being here on my show, Rooted in Real. I'm joined today by my good friend, longtime friend, Colleen Childry. She's a wife, a mother, early childhood educator, and an advocate for families. Colleen brings a grounded and honest perspective on motherhood, marriage after kids, faith, boundaries, and helping children feel safe, supported, and seen. So today, the conversation is going to be about parenting in today's world, healing from childhood experiences, strengthening marriage, and learning how to lead our families with wisdom instead of fear. Colleen, thank you so much for joining me on here and enjoying the ride. And
Yeah,
just thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
you're very welcome. I'm
Yeah,
excited to be here.
yeah, for sure. So, like every podcast I do or every meeting I do, I always, I want to hear your story. So like every good story, it's good to start from the beginning. So,
Yeah.
Colleen, tell us how you became who you are today and how you got there. What is your story, Colleen?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know if you knew I was not born in Michigan.
See, I didn't know that.
I
Yeah.
was born in North Carolina. My dad was stationed there
Okay.
in the army. And actually my brother Earl was born in Germany when he was stationed
Okay.
there.
Nice.
So yeah, so he was stationed there. We lived there till we were about 6. Like
Okay.
Eileen and I were 6.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Eileen's my twin sister.
Twin sister. Who's older? How many minutes?
So she is older by 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay.
I kept people guessing for a minute.
Nice.
So,
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So we're born in North Carolina. My parents got divorced when I was like about 6, like
Okay.
turning 7.
Yeah.
And so we moved back to Jackson, where both of them were from, and kind of went back to the Jackson area, lived with my grandparents for like 6 months so my mom could like find a place and stuff.
Okay. So let me ask a question about that. So
Yeah.
what was that like for you as a 6-year-old hearing about your mommy and daddy not being together anymore? Like, how did they tell you? How did you guys receive it? What was that like?
So what's crazy is Eileen remembers different pieces than me.
Okay.
So I remembered feeling like really shocked, but also looking back, I don't have a lot of memory of the entire conversation.
Yeah.
But I do remember like the car ride leaving. I feel like what I remember is waking up and all of our stuff was packed.
Oh,
And like they had like a U-Haul and everything. And I we were all getting in the car and I remembered my dad saying like I'm gonna drive to a certain point and then I'm gonna turn around. And so that was like kind of weird and
yeah,
sad as a kid.
for sure.
But like my dad was also in the service, so like we were used to him kind of being gone. And my mom was like, we were just tied to her hip. So yeah, that was kind of hard. And I remember starting elementary school in Michigan. We went to the Catholic schools,
Okay. Yeah.
and I specifically remember like a divorce care pullout service where we would like talk to a counselor, draw pictures and stuff,
Okay.
and talk about it.
Yeah,
So I actually think that was really valuable for us growing up.
for sure.
So
Yeah. So you met, that was like a therapist at the school. Like, would they call that a mental health counselor at the school or like,
I don't
what would they
remember the
call?
title,
Okay.
but probably some type of therapist or counselor.
Okay. Because it sounds a lot like you did like play therapy and they kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they knew we liked to draw. So I
Yes,
feel like that's what we did most of the time.
absolutely.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So you're in the Catholic school meeting this therapist, and then what happened?
And who knows, because they were part of the Catholic Church, it could have been somebody through the Catholic Church too.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. And then, you're doing that, you're in school, and then what happened?
let's see. I remember attending the Catholic schools for a long time,
Okay.
until high school.
Yeah.
So, like, my experience in the Catholic schools was a fairly good one, but I do remember feeling different,
Mm,
like, the whole time because we were kind of an odd family out being like we had a single mom. It was he's,
Right. Yeah.
and my brother was special needs, so he didn't go to our school. He ended up going to East Jackson
Okay.
because they had special ed there. They didn't really have much of a program at St. John's.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, we're, like, just different than everyone else." Plus
Okay.
being that we had a single mom, it was, like, kind of a one-income household situation. So, like, I don't know, I just felt like the differences in, like, socioeconomic status and,
Okay.
like, you know, I didn't have the cool pants all the time.
Okay. Okay. So there was definitely like like the I don't want to say rich kid, but like we can say there's
You
a
could feel it
you could
a
feel
little
that.
bit.
Okay. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
But, like, everyone was always kind to me,
Okay.
but it kinda gave you that second guess, like, are you just being nice or are you, like, really friends?
Right. Okay. Yeah, for
I was
sure.
also way shy,
Okay.
and my sister was the more outgoing
Mhm.
one. So I remember, like, tagging along with her and, like, a lot of the people she was friends with for a while before I got myself comfortable and you know. So I tested the waters a lot
Okay.
about, like, who I would feel comfortable with,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you 'cause, like, so you were you had to figure out, like, who was safe and who wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So what did that look like? Hey, how old were you when you were doing that? Were you still, like, elementary school, like, middle school?
I feel like well, there was also that dynamic of Eileen was my safe person.
Right.
I was a twin.
Yeah.
So when we started elementary school, they started separating us.
Okay.
And that was different because I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, my mom's not here and my sister's not here.
Yeah, for
What in the
sure.
world?" So, eventually, I got more confident. I don't think that it really felt like I had my own, like, separate hobbies and stuff until we were, like, maybe older elementary,
Okay. Yeah.
just because I was, like, trying to figure that out, like, what is my style,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
and all of that.
Yeah.
I do, however, remember feeling different. Like, I could express my differences with Eileen when we loved the Spice Girls. She was like, "I'm definitely posh. You're definitely Sporty Spice."
That's awesome. Yes, the Spice Girls, bringing it back, baby.
Yes.
Ah,
We'll have some nostalgia tonight.
let's go.
So, yeah, I think that was definitely a big piece of, uh, you know, me identifying who is safe, who is not. Also, like, Eileen and I had some experiences with some family members that at a very young age, we were like, "Oh, we don't step out of line with these people."
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I a specific incident that was, like, really hard for me was we were, like, probably 3,
Mhm.
and I spilled Vernors on their carpet, and the first reaction they had was to rub my nose in it like it was a dog. So I was like, "Oh, uh" whoa, like, I had a hard time processing that, and I don't think we really talked about it with people until we were, like, an adult, like
Right.
18.
Yeah,
So, that was a hard one,
for
and I
sure.
think from then on, we were, like, very observant of who's okay and who's not.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So, I mean, that is a pretty, like that's a crazy experience that happened.
yeah.
Like, you went through that and now you're experiencing, like, divorce and moving a lot. It's it's like there's so much unknown going on for you, and
Yeah.
you're still just a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was amazing, though, was my grandparents on my mom's side were so stable. So, like, to land there in that time was, like, incredibly, like, good for us.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
So I'm glad that that was our safe place.
Yeah. Okay. So, jumping to middle school,
Mhm.
was that
Yeah.
okay?
So we were in middle school. Gosh, I'm trying to think back to that time. It was, like, interesting because around middle school was when my dad moved back to Michigan. So, like,
Okay.
then you enter in, like dad's back in town, we're doing split custody, and, like, you have a stepmom now too.
Oh,
So
wow.
so yeah, right in the pivotal years. So, that was interesting dynamics too, because 'cause you're, like, navigating, like, different household, different expectations, and yeah, um, I just remember a lot of just trying to, I don't know, figure out who you are, and then also what is, expected of you. It was
Mm,
just interesting to
yeah,
navigate, especially I also had when my dad and my stepmom got together, she had a son, so then we were like, "Oh, we have, like, another sibling too." He was used to, like, being an only for so long.
right.
I think he was, like, close to being driving age when we got all together.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
so it was just different, but good. I mean, we're still very tight with them.
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
So
yeah, middle school is interesting. Like, you definitely are, like, still trying to figure out, like, who you are and what your interests are. Eileen, I remember she was, like, trying out for cheerleading, and once we hit middle school, I was, like, not trying out for stuff. I will be there for the friendship and the snacks, but that's about it.
there you go. Yeah. So, your dad comes back in town. He has a wife, your stepmom, and you have a stepbrother. Like
Mhm.
all of this all at once. Like, how is it? I'm curious how your family communicated all this to you, like with custody, new stepmom, stepbrother. It just seems like they all just sort of popped up, like all these new expectations and new things just kind of came. Like, how did they
Yeah, it
deliver
was
all that to you?
so I feel like my mom has always been incredibly agreeable. So when all of these things shifted, I just feel like they were kind of things were decided and we just did them,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
And so it's kind of an odd rotation too, because like you have typically you think, "Oh, 1 week on, 1 week off." But ours was like different. It was like a longer months together or like a month together. And then every other weekend you'd like see the other person. And then like the next month would come in and then flip flop.
Oh, okay.
So it was an odd rotation. Definitely looking back, I'm like, oof, I don't know that I would ever want to do that I'd never want that for my kids just
Right.
because it's just so much change.
Right. Yeah. So I'm curious to know, there might be somebody listening, like, who's also divorced, thinking about getting divorced. And obviously, like, I'll just say it, divorce is horrible. But
It's incredibly hard for everyone,
right.
like, to go through it.
Yes. So I'm curious to know, like, is there a way, like, looking back, that you wish it would have been told to you, or the parenting plan would have been for you? Like, is there a way you feel like would have been
Yeah,
better?
I do wonder often, like, if there could have been more, like, a round table talk about it, especially because I don't re I don't really remember much talk about it, but also we were, like, middle schoolers, I don't know. It's tricky because you never know, like, how old people's children are when they decide to do this, so I think it really depends on how old they are, how is it gonna affect their experience with their parent.
Hmm.
'Cause both parents are really important. They need both
Absolutely.
of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can't speak to everyone's situation because I mean, people separate for a lot of different reasons.
Absolutely.
But I know for my parents, like, they both were very capable of raising us, so we definitely needed both of them to, like, be a part of that experience, but for sure, it would been amazing to just have a more open conversation about, like, "This is what's gonna happen. How would you what input would you like on this?" Or "What would feel safe for you?"
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I love that. Yeah, I love that language. Like, just some input. How does this feel safe?
yeah.
How can this transition go well? Like, what do you
Or
need?
even, like, asking what rituals are important to them with specific parents,
Right.
because it's not always the same. Like, my son wants to hear a bedtime story from me, like, every night,
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
but he wants to hang out with dad. And he's also 3, so that will look different as they get older,
Yeah, for sure.
but I think those are important things to consider when you're setting up a routine is like, is there gonna be enough time for me to have these, rituals with my child?
Right. Yeah. No, that's great. I love that you said that and brought that around. Okay. So after middle school comes high school. Tell me about that. Tell us about that.
So I remember my dad just being like, "Listen, I don't wanna I don't wanna pay for high school," basically. So
Okay.
so we knew that their house would be, like, in the Western District, so we ended up at Western. Huge culture shock. I remember missing orientation because we were camping,
Yeah.
and I came from, like, one hall school to Western. I was like, "I don't know where my locker is."
Oh my
I distinctly
gosh.
remember the Mrs. Van Riper,
Yeah.
she stopped me in the hallway and was like, "Why are you here? It's lunchtime." And I was like, "I'm still trying to find my locker. I missed orientation." She was like, "You need to be at lunch, don't mess around in the halls." So I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go back to lunch." But then I shortly waited for her to just go back, and then I found my locker. Also, locker situation, I met Sarah Muskowski
Yes.
at my locker,
There you
and we've
go.
been friends ever since.
Look at that.
So, yeah, high school is interesting. I realized I really wanted to work with children
Okay.
in high school.
Heck yeah.
Goodness gracious, I got my first job working in a childcare center in high school,
Okay.
and it really gave me an outlet to just, like, not be at my house. So, I was just excited to have something to do,
Yeah.
and make money.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it didn't happen until my senior year,
Okay.
but I did do, like, career center and stuff, and I do think that gave me, like, a real big purpose, you know?
Okay. So you figured out your purpose for working with kids really early in life.
Yeah, and
Is
I'm
awesome.
come to realize, like, that is kinda rare
Yeah, that's
for a lot of
super.
people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
even in my profession, like I didn't realize it until like 5 or 6 years ago. And
yeah.
if you had told me in high school I was gonna be a therapist, I would have laughed at you. Like,
I said the same thing about my master's. I was like, "If you would have told me, 'Colleen, you'll have a master's,' I would have been like, 'You're high. You're for sure not in this world right now.'"
it's just wild the way, like, especially like if you're in high school compared to like when you're an adult, just how different that stuff is.
Yeah.
And your bodies change, your brains change, your purpose changes, the world
Mhm.
changes. Um,
For sure. I would agree with that because, like, if you would have asked me what my potential was back then, like, it was something way different
right.
than now.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
So senior year, you realize, I want to work with kids. You're leaving high school, and then
My idea of what I was gonna do is so different. I really thought I was gonna, like, create this eco-friendly childcare center
okay,
for Jackson, and, I learned by working in a different childcare center that I did not wanna own anything.
yeah, for sure.
I wanted to be, like, leaving work and, like, actually go home and relax, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I learned I don't wanna really do that. However, I did end up in many positions where I did have to manage a lot of stuff
Okay,
after hours.
my goodness, wow,
So, being a director is very hard work.
sure,
It's not often that they, like, get paid enough to do what they do because 'cause they're managing their schedules and all sorts of stuff, parent complaints
right,
at all hours.
yeah,
So,
my goodness, yeah, good for you. Like, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine even like parents nowadays just how
it's a different ballgame.
it's a different
It
ball game.
used
That's
to
how I would
be.
say that. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely different approaches, and you can you now that I'm older, I can definitely see the child inside of them. Like, you weren't hurt as a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been an interesting ride. I also was so nervous about going to college after high school because I knew Eileen wasn't. My twin sister decided to be a cosmetologist and, like, get licensed at the career center. She was all set. as a senior.
Wow.
And she got her first job at like the Sears hair studio,
Nice.
which a lot of people didn't know was there. It's like so hidden.
That is, yeah, for sure.
Uh, But she was like not going to go to college. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? The soundtrack was like The Climb by Miley Cyrus. I was so scared to do anything by myself.
Mm, yeah.
And then who was in my first class? You.
Let's go. That's right. So I'm like, I
This is
know I'm
like
in
high
here
school.
somewhere. I know I'm in here somewhere.
Gosh. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
Eileen doesn't, she never went to college then because she's still doing hair.
she still is. She co-owns a salon and suites business. So she does hair out of this salon and then they have rooms that people rent.
Okay. That's awesome.
So
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
it's been really cool for her. She's like got a booming business. She's loving life.
Yeah,
So
for sure. So it seems like both of you kind of had an idea, a really strong idea of what you wanted to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She really enjoyed like anything like cosmetology related. She was always so girly growing up. So I think this was like an outlet for her to express herself and also like serve people.
Yeah.
And this was like childcare and I just wanted to be a mom. And so finding childcare was really like a way for me to really harness that
Yeah.
before I could be a mom myself.
For
And
sure.
then over time, I did just your typical childcare setting and then eventually got my bachelor's. And so then I found what they call it GSRP, but it's our state funded pre K.
Yeah.
I taught that for many years.
Okay. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that program. It gave me so much training. It's an awesome program still to this day.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but then I got the opportunity when I found out I was pregnant, they gave me an opportunity to be a teaching coach
Okay.
for the whole company where I
Wow.
work.
Yeah.
So I took it because I was like, hey, maybe a little more flexibility, a little more money. That's nice,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed that quite a bit. And it's given me a lot of training in a different capacity. It's
Yeah.
like I have got so much training as far as like child development and stuff like that, classroom
Okay.
management.
Right.
But this has helped me like develop my skills to work with adults.
Yeah. So you do teaching, like you teach adults
So
and
right
kids.
now I am a professional development coordinator. So I kind of have to know the expectations for state licensing for childcare centers, as well as like they have a quality rating program. So it's like higher standards.
Okay.
So I kind of help all of our administrators help their staff comply with that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I also plan professional development and facilitate it. So
Wow. That's
yeah.
awesome. So what would you say compared to like, your childhood growing up to what you see, kids today? Like what do you feel like is either like enhanced, what's missing? Like what's
Yeah.
going on with that?
So I feel like there with especially with kids, there's what they need is not changed, but the world they're living in is different.
Right.
So way what I have noticed is like you have to make sure, they're touching grass and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Sunlight. Sunlight.
Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
there's so much like that is fast paced, everything from like the content they're watching to sometimes parents or even teachers are trying to like rush them through the day and really a lot would help if they just slowed down,
Mm,
taught them like really a lot of a focus on social emotional development really.
yeah, for sure.
So if you're able to like use their, skills to speak to each other, work on like fine motor skills to self-help, that is really kind of help what I try to help teachers understand is if you're able to slow down and really focus on like the building blocks of their development, you'll be able to do all of the other stuff later.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to manage a lot of their behavior much easier if you're taking it like one step at a time. So less focus on especially from a parent's perspective, like you'll have plenty of time for screen time.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're like prioritizing, sitting and looking at each other and talking at dinner
Mm,
or going outside with your child and like moving around,
yeah,
letting them learn how to be bored is crucial.
for sure. Yeah.
I didn't realize how many like low stimuli items like Daniel Tiger and stuff would be also informational for you as a parent.
Right.
Like you
Yes.
learn all these simple songs, but they are really teaching you how to like guide your child through those hard moments.
Right.
So I in fact just showed my son a video of like Daniel Tiger learning how to go onto a plane because we're gonna be taking a family vacation next week.
There you go.
These are the things we need to know about the airport.
Yeah.
You have to hold my hand.
Yes. Do not let go of my hand. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to be, like, really careful about my wording because he would wanna dart away from me, and one day he was like, "You're a monster." I said, I'm not holding your hand because 'cause you're in trouble, I'm holding your hand because 'cause we're a team." And so now he says that, "We're a team."
Yeah.
So sweet.
I love that. Yeah. I was gonna say, like we watch. So my daughter's 4. We watch a
Mhm.
lot of Bluey,
Yep.
and they kind of do like more. I feel like they do a lot of psychological stuff,
Yeah.
which of course, like I'm all about. So
Yeah.
we haven't watched Daniel Tiger in a while, but I do remember there was one Daniel Tiger. I think Daniel went to the doctor,
Yes.
and they did that. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I think going back to, like, taking their TV characters and finding their books
Yes.
and, like, just reading them books is also a great way to do it.
Yeah. For sure.
So
So, I mean, so I'm curious, like, if a parent does that with their kids, should they just sit there and watch it with them and then, like, never talk about it again?
okay, yeah, so you're gonna refer to it
Yes.
an immense amount of times.
Okay.
I even tell teachers this, like, it's gonna feel like you're hitting your head against the wall, but eventually it will click
Yeah.
and you'll hear them say things back to you and you're like, "You got it." Like,
Uh,
and you're reminding me that I also need to take a deep breath.
yes. For sure. Yeah, it's even, like, the same way even, like, in therapy, like, they'll go home and be like, "Hey, we tried this one time and it didn't work. We have to try something else." And I was like, "You tried it
Yes.
one time.
Oh my gosh.
You it's gonna take way more
Yes,
than one
I
time."
heard that from so many people, like, "We've tried everything and nothing works." Like, well, that's kinda like trying a diet and like, just giving up after, like, a short period of time and
Right.
just saying, like, nothing's working,
Yeah.
like, it's gonna take time and commitment and effort,
100%.
and if you don't know that, just potty train somebody and you'll figure that out.
I'm laughing because, like, we're potty training my 2-year-old right now, and it's like you just nailed it. Like, it is so repetitive and, trying to
And
celebrate the wins.
overstimulating.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah. Okay. So
You just kinda prep for those times to just fail.
mm,
That's what I did, like, I just always was like, "Well, we have 3 pants all the time now."
awesome. I agree, though. That's what
Mhm.
you gotta do, you know? So, I'm I'm also wondering because we went to college long before COVID, right?
Yeah.
And obviously COVID was an interesting time. Like, what did you see, like, with kids, with parents, during that COVID time?
So I was actually teaching GSRP when they did the shutdown,
Okay.
and I was doing, like, Zoom preschool.
Yeah.
It was like I will never forget the time I was trying to do a large group activity, which is basically like me being Danny Go, right? So we're trying to, like,
Yes.
do some movement and, like, incorporate some fun learning while we're doing it. And there is one child, I think there was only I think one child showed up. And while I was doing this activity, they were hiding under the table. So I'm, like,
My
basically talking to
goodness.
no one.
Yeah.
This happened once, but I was like, "This is enough to be burned in my brain forever."
Oh my
So that was an interesting time. It was one of those things where I'm like, I have to just document that I tried. So teaching preschool in Zoom, I would never recommend
no.
unless there's specific people you're dealing with that are, like, doing things with their child. But there are some people I'm like, "Oh, yeah, their dad's, like, in the other room. They're not
Right.
participating."
Yeah.
And then we had other parents who were just very vocal and said, like, "Listen, I work, so I'm not gonna be able to do it during the day, and the stuff that you send me, I will try to do, but I can't guarantee we're gonna have the time or energy to do it." So, that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's like a two-sider to that. Like, you do have to work, but
Yes.
also, like, it is your kid. So it's kind of like, I think COVID
You have to
really.
fit in a reasonable amount of interaction.
Right. Yes, absolutely. So, I'm wondering your thought on this, like, how important would you say, like, in a child's life is, like, parent interaction, to both parents interacting? Like, where would you
Yeah.
put that? How would you talk about that?
So that's a great question because I feel like you're your child's first teacher. So
Mm. Yeah, for
they're
sure.
going to learn so much from you. And especially like the way you interact with each other has so much to do with how they're going to interact with the world. So I feel like having an emphasis on, your values
Mm.
is going to be key. And if you don't know what those are, like, you'll probably figure them out together.
Right. Yeah. They'll
So,
get figured out eventually, you
mhm.
know, for
Yeah,
sure.
and I think, I remembered you and Ryan on, like, your episode, you guys were talking about how, life doesn't always just figure itself out when you get married and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
and especially when you get married and have kids, like, it amplifies
Mm.
your differences or even, like, your irritations.
Right. Oh, for
So
sure.
so navigating that was interesting. I remember getting pregnant
Mm.
and immediately finding a therapist.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Because I knew there was, like, some things from, like, when I was growing up, I didn't really talk about until I was older, and I knew there was things, like, I experienced I never wanted my kids to have to deal with.
Right.
So
For sure.
and really that was just simply, like, me identifying the experiences that were just non-negotiables for me. So, like, anybody I was gonna leave unattended with my child, I wanted to know they were gonna be handling them in a way that was respectful,
Absolutely.
safe.
Yeah.
They're like, um, how do I wanna say that? Like, I don't want anybody blowing up and, like, abusing my children,
Right.
essentially.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, like you said, like, these are people like, children get abused by people they know most of the time.
Right. Absolutely.
So, those were things I had to kind of unpack and then identify, like, how I was gonna set those boundaries.
Mm.
It also having that therapist already intact helped me have a person to come back to if, like, there was things going on with me and my husband that I was like, "How do I even approach this or deal with this?" Um, because they were like a neutral party. They understood my background and what I was going through. So that was really important to me.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, I didn't fully understand what my values were until I was like well into motherhood.
Mm. Wow.
So
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm sort of wondering, like, I mean, when you sought out therapy, was it like, was your family, your husband, like, encouraging? They're like, "Yeah, go do it." Like, or was it more like, what was that conversation like to be like, "Hey, I need to go talk to a therapist?"
I'm trying to remember how much I talked about it because I don't know that I did
Yeah.
a lot of that out loud. I think I did bring it up to my husband, but he was just like, "Yeah, I mean, if you need to go,
Okay.
go." And then after a certain period of time, he's like, "So what's your goal?"
No, that's
You know?
yeah, for sure. Like, that's a great thing to always like keep on the front of your mind is just what is my goal being here, and then why am I
Mhm.
here? You know,
Yeah.
uh, if someone's listening to this right now and they're like thinking about doing therapy, they're like on the fence on it, like what would you say like to them right now?
That's a really good question. I'm a really big advocate for therapy,
For sure.
but I also think that, you know, there are things you can bring to a therapist and just know like they're not going to solve everything for you. Like I just know that my therapist has asked me a lot of the right questions to really make me think deeply about
Mm,
what do you want? Just
yeah.
or like what is it that's inside of you that's making you feel the way you're feeling, you know? And I don't some people don't really dig that deep. So nobody's going to just get a therapist and like solve every problem
Right.
that they've ever had.
Yeah. And there may even be problems that you have that you don't even know you have. They're just impacting how you go about the world and you don't even know it's a problem.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I really started going because I wanted to understand like family boundaries and like just my family dynamics. Like because I'd never really spoken about it to anybody.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, oh, I'm married and I have children and I really want this to work,
Right. Yes.
like at all costs.
Absolutely.
So that was really my focus initially. I'm like, oh, having kids is like making me feel shaky, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But I know this is like everything I've ever wanted. Like
Yes.
I knew, like back when I knew you, I knew I was gonna have kids someday.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I don't know that I would ever tell somebody not to go, but I would also tell people like it's not something that's a death sentence either. Like you don't have to like be there forever.
Right. Yeah.
So the
100%.
ball is really in your own court.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that you said that. Like it's not a death sentence. You don't have to do it forever.
Yeah.
Like something I say almost all the time is, my clients are free to come and go as they please.
Hmm.
And I say that all just about every day to everybody. So
Yeah.
like I literally hold the door open. So and I think that some people feel like they meet somebody or they have a therapist and they're like almost trapped with them and they can't it's either they see them or they stop going forever because everything's fine. And it's like, my
No
response to
need to
that.
go either end of the spectrum.
Right. Exactly. You don't have to go either extreme. It's just like, some people really benefit from going weekly and some people could
Yeah.
benefit bi-weekly or monthly. And, some people kind of come, as like prices rise,
Hmm.
that has its own challenges. Like, I might not be free the moment you need somebody, but,
Yeah.
you know, but that's all communicated and that's all discussed. Like,
Yeah.
so I think it's valuable to just, know that, it's important. Everyone should hold on, I'm gonna mess this up. You should you should always talk to someone, but you don't need to talk to everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, and I've learned not by like talking around people, but like just getting a sense of like I will keep this to myself.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just gotta listen to that little like, "Ooh, maybe not."
yeah,
So,
yeah. Having that
yeah.
discernment for
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
So how important would you say, through parenting, both in like your own parenting and the parents that you've seen and the kids that you've seen, how important is it to have like just community, friendships?
Oh,
How important is that?
incredibly important.
Yeah.
I I've noticed, like, for me, it was really helpful, um, to have so I followed my husband to find a church, and that was, like, an interesting experience because I didn't realize how many, like, limiting thoughts I had about doing that.
Mhm.
It was also, like, right coming out of, like, the COVID era, so I'm like it was so polarizing. Everything you did was, like it just felt like everyone was judging you
Right.
no matter what choice you were making. You're this, you're that. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna try it, but, you know, I don't wanna be this kinda church or that kinda church. I very much was, like, unsure of everything, and I remembered my husband was, like, not interested in wearing a mask at certain points.
Sure.
He was just over it, and I was like, "Well, I don't wanna make anybody uncomfortable," so I was, like, wearing these clear ones, the
Okay.
clear ones that were, like you could see my mouth, but I was
Yeah.
sweating, and they
Yeah.
were awful, and so finally I realized I was the only one in this church service that was, like, wearing one, so I finally just
Nice.
took it off. It's like, "I'm so tired of this."
There you go.
And then I realized, like, that what he was taking me to was just a normal group of people. Everyone was so nice. We started going to a very, very small church. We were the youngest people there, and now we've seen it grow so much. Like, our son was, like, one of the only actually, he was the only baby at this church. And now there's, like it's grown so much. We have, I think, at least 4 or 5 other families that have kids there
Wow.
now. So,
Okay.
it's been a really cool experience doing that because I grew up in a Catholic church that my family had always gone to, like,
Yeah.
multiple generations.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, I knew my husband, like, we didn't get married in a Catholic church or anything. He grew up Baptist, I grew up Catholic, and then, going in
Yeah.
moving into high school and everything, we were more like a cafeteria Catholic. You did a little of this and that.
Yeah.
But,
I like that.
however, my mom, she's a wonderful Catholic lady.
Yes.
She does the Christian service meetings at her church, and,
Okay.
she volunteers, and she helps out. She's a great person in her community, but going to this church, letting my husband lead me, what has been, like, a very interesting experience because, like, we've met people that are wonderful and where we live, and
Mm.
it's kind of, been an interesting way to kinda cleave to each other
Yeah.
and branch off and create that new family of your own?
For sure. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
but I remember really having to, like, find my own faith in that process because I was like, "I am in uncharted territory for me," you know?
Yeah.
Especially, like, being a daughter of a single mom,
Right.
it was just hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good for you. Stepping out into that uncomfortable place, knowing that it was going to be scary and you still did it.
yeah.
And, John was there and you have your background, but you didn't let that stop you. And I'm even wondering more like with like some people, if they went to a church and they were the only baby there, they would have bolted. They'd have been like, look, we need to find more kids.
We almost did.
Okay. No, no. Okay. So talk about that. Like, I'm curious why you
So,
stayed.
it was incredibly interesting because I felt so uncomfortable because I don't like letting people down or anything, because at first, it was just hard, you know, nobody's making sound except for my child. And my husband's like, "Can you do something?"
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then after a while, I was like, I'd really like to get something out of the church service too." Um, so because I would, like, excuse myself and then feel like I was, like, I'm just here for the songs, and then I go downstairs, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I kinda had a conversation like, can we at least try one service somewhere else just to see? And we did, and we enjoyed it. Um, it was a totally different experience because it was, like, a much larger church. They had a lot of resources set up. So the day that John was gonna go up to the pastor and say, "I think we're just gonna go find, like, a more developed church for us," the during the sermon, the pastor had, like, said in the sermon, "We just want you to know that Jack's noise is good noise," and all of this. It made us feel so welcome
Mm,
that John was like, "I couldn't do it. I
yeah.
couldn't." And at first I was like, "What the heck?" And then after a while, I was like, "Oh, you know what? This was meant to be, I think."
Yeah.
Like, but had I not just followed and trusted the process, I wouldn't have been able to see that. So I'm very thankful for that experience.
Right. And it even seems like in that instance, like God laid it on your pastor's heart to
Yeah.
say that because
And
he knew.
John was the one who mentioned that
Yeah.
to me. I was like, well, when you put it that way, yeah, but like at first I was like, are you reaching here?
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, no, he's right. Like
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
Right.
So
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are still at the same church
we're
and
still at the same
it's
church.
growing.
Yep, and it's growing and they're trying to get more into like the village of Parma, like into the community. So it's kind of challenged me a little bit because um, you know, the community is like what my kids are gonna be a part of.
For sure.
So I've been trying to think of ideas that would also draw that type of engagement. Part of me would love to do it like just a simple play group. It's in my wheelhouse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh, but I need to like poll people to see like what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I also participate with the Great Start Collaborative Community Group, which is like our ISD's group that they do to encourage families and other people in the community to come and talk about like things out there for families.
Yeah. Okay.
And something they do is like little free library boxes and stuff. So I've since gotten one to be put in Parma just as like something to draw people over there.
For sure.
But I think over time it would be nice to find more that would, I don't know, draw like my talents into the community because I think it would mean a lot for me to be connected with whatever Jack and Joan end up doing.
Right. For sure. Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm wondering how important would you say it is to get plugged into church, to like serve at church, to join a small group, not to show up on Sundays or
Oh yeah.
Saturdays? How important is that?
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget when John so we went to a service. Also, this was during COVID,
Yeah.
so this is kind of also a God thing. The company I work for, I came back to them and taught GSRP in Parma Elementary. And then COVID happened and the next school year came and they didn't have space for us. They said, we're kicking you out, basically. But we still need your classroom in our community. So we ended up finding in that church,
Yeah.
they had their community room, but not a lot was going on. So we rented it and put our GSRP classroom in there.
Nice. Okay.
And so I was there at work and then we would come back on Sunday. And then John was like, well, I signed us up for a life group. I'm like,
Nice.
what the heck's a life group?
Yeah.
We started off doing that. And at first it was, again, very small. So it was like us 3 or 4 couples from church just met and had dinner and chatted every week. And at first I was like, this is kind of different for me because I was as a young kid, especially going to Catholic school, like we went on Fridays after like during school and then we went on Sunday. And then
Yeah.
I went to Catholic school all week.
Yeah.
So I was like, what else do you want me to do?
Right. Yes.
But going and doing this, my husband made me realize, like, oh, this is really how communities are built,
Mm,
when you do stuff like this.
right.
Now, with the way churches are now, you can see like how some of them are less attended. And you also see a trickle effect of like communities being less of a community, like you don't know your neighbors and things like that. So I would say getting plugged into a church can really help you feel that.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So, I mean, just for clarification, like a life group is like a small group, community group.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other names churches use, but that's like how I would describe it. And I would even say
Yeah.
too, there's like,
Just we call it like people you do life with.
there you go. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that too. I like that too.
Hmm.
So, I would say too, just to echo that, it's important to do that because if you just go to church like Sundays and bolt, like you're not really going to get anything out of that. I mean, you'll get a little bit, but not as much as if you did the community piece.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree with that. You definitely see you can invest more of your time and your mind into seeing how God's working when you are surrounding yourself with that.
For sure. 100%. For sure. So, you're plugged into this church, you got your kids there, family goes there.
Mhm,
Like, how important would you say is it for like the whole family to be in there? Like, not just you taking the kids by yourself or just John, your husband. Like, you all are in this together. Like, how important would you think? Do you think that is? How important do you say that is?
I are you thinking, like, just household or, like,
Yes,
extended?
like the whole,
Yeah.
just the household.
So, I would say, like, it's really crucial because it's kinda like it kinda reminds me of, like, when people watch different news,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
like, you kind of are being told the same story, but, like, different
Mm,
in a sense. So, when you're I feel like when you as a household are going to the same church, you're getting plugged in with the same information, it really can be unifying because you guys are working with the same, foundation,
absolutely.
essentially.
Yeah. For sure.
I definitely feel like it's, like, a big part of what makes us feel strong as a family, for sure.
Absolutely. 100%. Okay. I love that, and, it just kind of shows like your faith goes together. Like, you're in it
Mhm,
together, you're struggling together. I think that's incredibly valuable to go to church with your spouse and your kids, get everybody
mhm.
plugged in. As we're like wrapping up, coming to a close, what kind of you know, message would you say? Like, if you got everybody in the world together and they had to hear you talk for a minute but this is your time to like get a big message out to everybody. Like, what would you say? What does everybody need to hear from
Mm,
Colleen?
that's a good question. I should have prepared for that part. Hmm. Well, darn. I'm trying to
Is
think.
there is it feel like there's a lot to say? Or is it like,
Yeah, I feel like
okay,
I have a lot of things to say. Goodness, I've been starting to want to write children's books.
yes, for sure.
I'm kind of a labor of love, and so I think really if the world needed something from me, I think at the end of the day, I would really want people to take away from me is just like if you have any type of like positive message or something to say to somebody that lets them know you're connected to them,
Yeah,
you should just say it.
absolutely.
So, yeah. So I actively try to go out of my way to tell people things like that. Like, hey, I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you today.
Yeah,
Or, when you did this, it just really made me feel seen or whatever it. I just feel like if you have something positive that you think about somebody, you should just tell them that
yeah.
so that they have it too.
I love that. That's so good. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. So, last question, I'll bring us home. Any good like podcasts, books, resources you
Ooh,
recommend? It can be about anything we've talked about or anything we didn't talk about, but just something like,
ooh. Let me look.
let's go. We got the
One of
bookshelf right
my
there.
I do have a bookshelf. So I just enjoy laughing at stuff. So
Yes.
I listen to a lot of books from certain celebrities.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Josh Peck's book, oddly enough,
Okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
but I would say I do listen to a variety of podcasts. One of yours is one of them, but I also listen to what is it? Gosh, I gotta look it up.
You're good.
I'm trying to think. It's something marriage. I do enjoy that one. Uh, oh, Fierce Marriage. I really enjoy that one.
Fierce
They have,
marriage.
yeah,
Okay.
they talk a lot about like things from the Bible
Okay.
and kind of various things that happen in your marriage that come up and the inevitable and kind of ways the Bible guides you through that. So I really enjoy that podcast. I also just love Office Ladies.
Okay. That's with Pam and
Yes,
or Jenna
and
Fisher and around there.
yeah,
Yeah.
the girl who plays the blonde with the cats, you know?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
They
Okay.
talk about The Office, and I just love that they're BFF. I think it really gives sister vibes to me, like, that's what I would love for Eileen and I to have.
Yes.
So, I'm hoping to have a podcast with her come out soon just because we love talking to each other about things that we see in our jobs and, like, just the behavior that is kinda similar sometimes. So, if that comes out, I'll keep you posted.
Let's go. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. All right. Well, Colleen, thank you so much for sharing your story and amazing insights. Really
of
appreciate
course, no
you
problem.
taking time to be on here and just talking, hanging out.
Of
So,
course.
all right. Thanks, Colleen.
Yes. Thank you.